Fine. So my name is Alberto Melo. I've been working in adult education for quite a long time now, in different contexts, in the university, within public administration and public decision making, and also as a field worker, if you like, a practitioner in the local development projects. And in one of those local development projects, which I was coordinating in the south of Portugal, in the very isolated villages of the north of the Algarve, therefore in the south of Portugal, uh, instead of starting with a pre-planned program and syllabus and curricula for the, the poorly schooled residents, we decided, first of all, to try and know them. So for many weeks, we just went to the hamlets and the villages and talked to people and listened to them. And actually, we had very good contact and very good relations with such people, most of them quite aged already, because the more active, same younger people had emigrated either to the coast of Algarve or even abroad. So talking to those people and telling them we are coming from the university and you wanted to do some activities with them and help in any way we could help. They would start by saying, "Oh, you are very educated. We are ignorant. We don't know anything. So I don't know what I can tell you about." But bit by bit, we start talking, and they were showing, for instance, the house where they lived, and they said, "Well, my grandfather has built this bit, and my father has made an extension, and they have actually changed the doors, the windows, the roof." And that was their own work. And then I realized they all had some land plots where they were growing vegetables, fruit trees, also breeding animals like sheep and goats and pigs. And then they would, of course, use those products to process and make food for the whole year round. And they had, in many houses, they had a loom, very old and homemade loom, where they would weave blankets, jumpers for their own use. And they kept telling me that they've done all those things. At the same time, they would say, "I'm ignorant, I don't know anything, I haven't been to school, or I just stayed at school 2 years, I don't know how to read or write." But I realized they knew much more than I did with all my academic qualifications, because they could survive, and I wouldn't be able to survive in any sort of environment. I was educated to earn money, not to actually do things, to buy them. So this was a very strong sort of revelation that people that, because they have poor schooling, they are called underskilled or low skilled, and I could see so many skills in them. So later on, when I was invited by the Department of Education to design a new strategy for adult education in Portugal, I decided to base this strategy on a process of identifying and recognizing and validating the skills that people had and had acquired and produced all along their lives. Despite longer or shorter schooling experiences. And this, I think, responded very well to the needs and the requirements of the adult population in Portugal, because after a while, this system became very, very popular. And out of a population of 10 million, which means more or less 6 million adults or so, we had 1,100,000 people going through the process. And actually about 415 or 20,000 actually got a school certificate at the end of the process. All the others went through the process. And for them, the ones I interviewed, who I talked to, this has been a very, very rich experience, because they realized by having their skills talked about and recognized and validated, they could see themselves a different person. And this, in my opinion, is the secret for motivation to further learning, is people to acquire another level of self-trust in their own skills, capacities. That they have to believe they can learn in order to enroll for a learning process. So even the outreach activities are not enough if they are just taking information outside to them. Information is not enough. So you need really activities that make the people believe they can actually learn. And this started curiosity and even the motivation to learn more, because those adults I talked to, which had been through the process and managed to get lower secondary education, the first thing they did was to ask, where can I get upper secondary education now? Where shall I enroll? And many of the people who went through this process went also later to university. And I know now cases of people who went through this process, and they are now architects, engineers, lawyers, doing PhDs. So this has been very successful because I think it just responded to the needs of the adults, really.